All right, chef, what are we doing next?
We're gonna do kimchi, homemade kimchi. We're gonna make it vegan, so we're not gonna put any shrimps, any.
Because traditionally.
Yeah, you put the shrimp paste. You also do use fish sauce, but we're gonna make our one vegan, and it's gonna be as good. So our ingredients are napa cabbage, Chinese cabbage, onion, spring onion, carrots, daikon, otherwise muli. Garlic and ginger paste, gochujang sauce, and Korean chili flakes, salt, and that's pretty much it, to be honest.
Sounds good. Sounds good. It's probiotic, right?
Well, yes. I mean, you know, I started making my homemade kimchi about 2 years now. My wife actually wanted me to do it because it was all about how healthy is it for you. Because you know that thing is you put it in your fridge, you can keep it for quite a few weeks. It's always alive, and apparently this bacteria is very, very good for you. So slice the cabbage in half. We cut the core out. Now there is obviously quite a few ways of cutting them. So some people would cut them lengthwise, and then when you have your paste ready, you paste it and then you kind of roll them. I mean, we can't do it now because it's still very hot, but when we put salt, we soak it in salt for quite a few hours, to be honest with you. But I find it easier to eat. I mean, depends what you want it for. Just cut them in nice big chunks.
I mean, because often I just eat it plain, just to give my gut a little bit of a little bit of love.
But this is what we do at home. We're watching a movie tonight. We're gonna get a bowl of kimchi each, me and my wife, and we're sitting and just speaking for half an hour or so. You know.
Very healthy.
It's amazing. It's healthy and it's super tasty. I mean, people who don't like spicy food, you obviously don't have to use too much chilies. The recipe I'm doing,
so it doesn't really need chili in it.
No, it does need chili, but you can adjust as much as you like. I mean, the recipe I'm doing now, it's gonna be medium spicy, so pretty much good for everybody. So anyway, cut your cabbage. Put salt. So this is 1 kilo of cabbage, 70 grams of salt. Now we're gonna mix it all together, and we leave it. We leave it for, let's say, 15 minutes to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Obviously, the salt will start draining water. And we're gonna, every so often, every half an hour, we're just gonna turn it over. So again, this process will take about 3 hours.
Okay.
So put this aside. I'm gonna get back to it. Now we're gonna do our paste. So in here we got 120 grams of onion. Put it in a.
And how long will it take to ferment and be ready?
Right. So generally, again. Because it's a live thing, depending on the temperature in your kitchen, put it in a not see-through container, ideally ceramic, cover it, and 24 hours, 100% outside, up to 48 hours. When it's ready, you will see when it starts working. So when you open your kimchi, I mean the jar, you see the bubbles coming in, then you take that, put it in your fridge, and then it can sit there for a month and a half, even longer. Just make sure it's submerged in its own liquids.
Again, rather than buying kimchi that's going to have some preservatives in it and some E numbers. And,
well, yeah, and it's dead.
God knows what else to preserve it. This is just, as you said, nothing else in it.
Yeah,
Boom.
and it's alive. That's the most important thing. The ones in the jar, the kimchi was alive. They put it in the jar. They obviously went through so many processes, so the kimchi is still nice and tasty, but it doesn't give you the healthy.
And I believe we're adding the gochujang today just for a bit of extra flavor.
Yes, so generally it's made with chili flakes. Also adding, so this is 20 grams of chili flakes.
But these are what, Korean chili flakes?
Yeah, Korean
Japanese?
chili flakes, Korean
and
ones.
What if you don't have Korean? Could you just use those regular chili flakes you buy in other supermarkets?
Well, I guess you would. I mean, I like the gochujang because they are fermented chilies, and it gives you a little bit extra, you know.
Okay.
So that's 20 grams of each, and that's, as I said, it's medium spicy. Half a tablespoon of garlic and ginger, so that will be about 20 grams each, and we just process it to a paste. Now again, some people would do something called porridge. What it is, it's rice flour and water, so you would add it to that once you cook it, and so you cook the rice, a couple of tablespoons of rice flour with 200 grams of water. It makes the whole paste thicker, so when you do long strips, you can actually spread it over, and it just keeps the stuff on the cabbage. But because we're doing it in the small pieces, it's really irrelevant. So this is what we get in here.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best not to taste that right now. I think.
No, you definitely don't want to taste that. That's going to be very
got
strong.
a bit of chili, and I got a temptation.
So
to
it's
taste.
a nice paste. Yeah, raw onion. I think it's a quite quite strong
And
stuff.
even that's
Okay, we can get
beyond
rid
me,
of
that one.
So next, got about 100 grams of spring onions. So all the vegetables I will cut into kind of long julienne.
And the carrots, and we're done.
Carrots and mouli.
Oh, we're doing mouli as well. So there's a mouli for you, everybody.
So yeah, what it is, about 100 grams of spring onion, 100 grams of carrots, 100 grams of mouli.
We'll supply a recipe with the video.
Yes.
And there's a lot of research about probiotics and the gut, and
yeah, I mean, people realize, you know, I mean, Korean food, it's when you look at it, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's amazing.
That's all you need.
That's what I need, yeah.
Mix it all in and it's done, right? Put it in a jar to finish it. All right, looking good, looking good.
Right, so we pretty much done in here. So now what we need to do is wait for these leaves to soften. Right, so it's been about 3 hours now. Our cabbage nice and soft, but still very salty. So now what we want to do, we're gonna rinse it in cold water, drain it, and then we mix it with the rest of
and
the
that
ingredients.
water has come because of the salt.
Yeah, so all this water actually, it's what the salt actually took away from
so really
from the
we're
cabbage.
just drawing out the water from the cabbage a little bit is what we're actually doing.
That's right, that's why we're putting so much salt, but now we need to rinse it, wash it, because it's going to be too
Let
salty.
me go rinse it.
Cool, and in the meantime, I've got our vegetables, put them in a bowl, and I mix it with the paste we made earlier.
How well rinsed do you want it?
Yeah, that's pretty much good. Yeah, so we mix it, mix the paste with the vegetable first, and then it will be easier to mix it with the cabbage leaves. Right, that's in there. Now we put all this stuff in here, all the last bit of it, and give it a good mix.
You're doing it with your hands, chef.
I'll do it with my hands.
You don't want to put. Oh, you want to put it into something dark.
Yes, I mean, as I mentioned, ideally you want to use a ceramic dish, not see-through one. Unfortunately, in this kitchen, everything we got it's metallic, so we leave it in here. Right. So now we press it, and at some point there will be more and more juices coming out. So this covered stays outside, as I mentioned, for minimum 24 hours, maximum 48. We'll see when the juices start bubbling. This is when it's ready. Then it goes into the fridge and it stays there. Another 3 days in the fridge, I guess it will be ready. So altogether about 5 days. So after 5 days we can try it. Once it becomes nice and sour, then we know it's ready. And the longer it stays, the better it becomes.
Are you going to cling film it or?
We cover it with a lid.
With a lid?
We don't want to give
sunlight
into it.
Why don't you want sunlight in it, chef?
Because we don't want a bad bacteria to develop.
I know you're saying that it's going to be ready in a week, but I kind of want to taste it now.
No, you can eat kimchi raw as well.
Okay,
people
good.
eat that raw as well.
Thank God for that.
Mix that with rice or stir fry.
Lovely.
So there is one which I made home around 2-3 weeks ago now. That's how it looks when it's ready. You can taste it. Michael, taste it.
Thank you, chef.
Now we come on. See the sourness. So Michael just tasted the fresh one.
Now I see the difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
The fresh one is, you can eat it as this. It's also amazing. But you know, this is when it went sour, and it just gives another dimension, isn't it?